Greetings YouTube! I finally got around to watching the New Year's episode of Doctor Who. I had to go in for work very early the following morning. I couldn't stay up and watch it. Anyway, finally got around to watching it, and if you assume that this episode, which is called Resolution, if you assume that it's episode 11 on the end of the other 10 episodes of this series, I think it's the best episode they did. It manages to get everything in there, to do everything. The whole of Series 11 has had an intimate feel to it, except possibly for that last episode where they suddenly thought, let's put an entire planet in jeopardy. And then suddenly they went big scale with it. It was weird. This episode, again, was a bit smaller and had a more intimate feel to it. So it felt in line with the rest of the series. Obviously, we had no Christmas episode. This is the replacement, a New Year's episode. Doesn't really feel like a New Year's episode unless you count the fireworks going off at the beginning. Unlike Christmas, New Year's it doesn't have as much to identify it with. This felt like a regular episode, did this, but it's a much better finish to the series than episode 10 was. I don't like giving out spoilers. I try to avoid them wherever possible. Sometimes it's impossible to talk about something without mentioning certain things. So I'll say this straight away. There is, the Daleks make an appearance, but it's more like one Dalek. I've never been able to work out why in the modern series, the fewer Daleks you have, the more of a threat they are. It's like the more of them you have, the easier it is to blow them up. I still haven't figured that out. I do like the way they keep on inventing new things the Daleks can do. There's a couple of tricks that this Dalek can do in this particular episode that they came up with, and there seems to be no end to the writing team's inventiveness this time round. And it's a completely different writing team, so I have to give them brownie points for doing that. I was actually wondering if the Daleks were going to show up, because obviously they're there's a lot of famous Doctor Who monsters, but they're like supposed to be the biggest. And in the past, the showrunners have said we're giving them a bit of a rest this time, so you shouldn't expect to see them on this in this series, not this year. I was wondering if they were doing that this year, but no, they're just saving it for the special apparently. Episode 10 had some family drama type stuff. Again, spoilers, but I thought that as far as the character of Graham was concerned, it was a decent way of tying up his link to the whole thing. But this time round, I'm going to have to look up his name. Ryan. I've got it on screen. Can't remember everyone's name, I'm terrible. But Ryan this episode is more about his resolution instead, which again is part of the title of the episode. And his actual biological dad shows up because Graham is his stepdad. And Ryan, again, without wishing to give too much away, he gives him a talking to. And it's for about 5 minutes into the scene, and I thought it was really good. And I'm going to have to look up the actor's name. It's Tosin Cole. I apologise if I've just butchered that name, but he does a really good job opposite his dad, giving him a grilling for not being there, and again, spoilery stuff. But I really enjoyed that scene. And unlike some of the previous episodes that focused maybe a little bit too much on maybe other stuff at times, like in particular episode 3 I thought was a very good episode, but pretty much all of the usual Doctor Who and sci-fi stuff was completely sidelined, like completely, totally. And I can see that putting some people off of it. With this episode though, I thought it was a good balance. It did the family stuff well, and it did the sci-fi Dalek Doctor Who stuff well. It managed. This episode is a little bit longer than usual. Instead of 50 minutes, it's 60 minutes. Not that you can really tell, but it struck an excellent balance between the two. It did both of them well, and you didn't feel like it was artificial or awkward in any way. It was good storytelling. Was this, again, without spoilers? The Dalek is building something. And the way it's building something immediately made me think it was mirroring what the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, was doing with a screwdriver, because she builds a screwdriver for herself in the first episode. The Dalek building something in this episode directly mirrors it. I thought that was quite good. The only issue I actually have with this episode is that apparently Unit has been suspended. Or something. I forget the word they used for it now. It wasn't suspended, but that's what it made me think of. It's like, they haven't been suspended for not paying their bills or whatever it was. There's some sort of inquiry or something, or there hasn't been an alien invasion for a while, so they've sort of been switched off while there's a spending review. I think that's what it might have been. And it was a weird thing, because the regular military shows up to deal with the Dalek, or attempts to. I remember thinking to myself, why did you put the regular army in there when you could have easily have just as had, you could have had Unit there? I feel like the only reason they did that was for the call centre gag, which in all fairness is somewhat funny, but I feel like that was the only reason it was there. I think that Resolution works as a title for the episode, obviously, but the episode itself works really well as well. It manages to obviously resolve certain things with Ryan and his dad. It obviously resolves the problem with the Dalek. The title ties into New Year's and whatnot. And I think this was a much better ending than episode 10 perhaps tried to be. I feel like this is the ending. This is why I'm regarding this as an episode 11. Rather than it being a separate thing, because usually the specials have not much to do with anything else. This, I prefer to look at it in context of the whole series here, because this was a much stronger ending for various reasons. This episode also started to make me think like the writers, the first 6 episodes maybe, it started to make me think the writers maybe didn't quite have a handle on the programme to start with. But again, the last 5 episodes have made me think that they really do. So maybe if they just scattered some of those 5 end episodes in amongst the other 6 and sort of split them up, it would have played better for me. Certainly it would have done. But I don't have as many misgivings about the new writing team as I used to have. Now I'm feeling a lot better about them. And then, of course, there's the rumours that we're not getting Doctor Who Series 12 in 2019. The BBC seems to have poured cold water on that idea. They're saying that, yes, we are going to have a series this year. And then there's been some talk around the show's writer, who is called Chris Chibnall. Apologies if I've got his name wrong. Well, I've got his name right. I don't know if I pronounced it right. But there are rumours that he prefers working on his one of his other things, Broadchurch, and that he's having issues here and there, and that maybe he's going to leave after the next series. And Jodie Whittaker's already said if he goes, then I'll probably go at the same time. So not quite sure where they stand on that one. From the sounds of things, they seem to be all right where they are at the moment, but it's a little bit of uncertainty. And as I say, I'm now thinking the writing team does know what they're doing with the back half of this series. Maybe if they'd have reordered the episodes, it would have played better. But I'd be really sorry to see Jodie Whittaker go quite so soon, because I liked her right from the 3rd sentence she uttered. So I'm hoping that they stick around for the foreseeable future. These are all rumours flying around the internet. I don't like rumours, but you don't pay too much attention to them. But obviously, yeah, I'm just hoping they stick around for a while yet. Okay, I think that'll do for this video. I rabbited enough about the whole series in that last video I did. What was it, 25 minutes long or something? I don't know what I was talking about in that video. Anyway, that is Doctor Who for 2018, and apparently we are going to get a series in 2019, so I shall look forward to that towards the last quarter of 2019. So we've got a way to wait yet, but that's always the way, isn't it? So That's it. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, and share, all that jazz. See you next time.